Joseph, before I start with you, in recent times or in this very decade, there have been rampant incidents of kidnapping, and one would want to understand the motivation of these kidnappers who are referred to as the perpetrators of who are referred to as organized crime or bandits. Having looked into it over the decade, it's been analyzed and understood that mostly the motivation of these kidnappers is to target the influential in society, kidnap them or kidnap their dependents, and ask for a ransom or money to be paid in order for the kidnappees to be released. And over the years, some of these ransoms have been paid, so it's serving as a motivation to these organized crime actors. And the kidnapping is not only happening in the physical world. Since the internet has become a society and has created a platform for socialization and for business, people are finding opportunities in conducting same organized crime in the cyberspace so that they could make money. And hence the topic ransom and ransomware. Now, on this background, we're going to have this discussion, which means that in this understanding of kidnapping and then receiving or payment of ransom for a person to be released or whatever, we want to move this discussion in that understanding to the cyberspace. So, Joseph, this is your domain. Tell us, what is ransomware?
Thank you so much. And so I must be very grateful for the background that you've given to this topic. In fact, you have done it before. And because the idea ransomware attack originated from kidnapping, like the scenario you've painted. That's it. So let's take it to the digital space. Like the way you said, people kidnap people for a ransom to be paid. Same way that it means that now, because we are doing almost everything online, we have vital information online which is equally equivalent to the children or the people that these attackers can kidnap. So these online attackers, what they do is they kidnap the sensitive data that we have, and they demand ransom to be paid before they can release the data to us. The way they do this is in a form of encryption. So you will still have your computer or your device, and this person being it very far away from you will have to encrypt every data that you have on the data, or encrypt certain data that you have on the device, and then demand for a ransom to be paid. And if that ransom is not paid, it means that you are not going to get your data back. And so, but the scenario that you've painted, which is very good to breaking down of this attack, online form is how I have also explained to viewers and listeners.
Very well. So, you have just given, you have done justice to the question. So I want to now understand a few more things. Okay. So,
all right.
I want to understand a few more things. So follow-up questions will follow. How does this ransomware attacks happen?
Good. Ransomware, mostly the way that we normally get ransomware on systems of vulnerable people is through phishing attacks. Phishing attacks, we have kinds of types of phishing attacks, and one of them is me assuming I'm the attacker, and then I've created this ransomware. Ransomware is simply a software, a malicious software, which has been designed to encrypt data. So if I am the attacker and then I have created this malicious software, I then have to send it to you, assuming you are my target. I send it to you through email, either as an attachment to an email, and you not knowing what the intention behind the attachment. You will just open the attachment, and by the way of you opening the attachment, you are installing the malicious software that I have created for the bad purposes. And so before you are done, you will see a blue screen, or you will see something on your screen showing you that your data has been encrypted, and then giving you as to how you can pay a ransom for me to give you the keys to decrypt your sensitive data that I have encrypted.
Interesting. It looks risky and it sounds lucrative. Oh, now I understand. I remember a teacher, a lecturer was sharing the experience, and he said he was in a digital forensics class. He was asking his students what is their motivation for coming in to do this course, and the various students gave various reasons. But one particular student stood up and said, "Sir, my workplace, they don't pay me well. What I want to do is to learn the skills and encrypt the company's data and connive with some outsiders and provide the encryption key, a decryption key, so that the company will pay to those what how do you call it, crime actors, in the belief that they perpetrated the crime, so that he can receive his booty from those people and share. Then he's paid himself well." That is his motivation. When the lecturer shared this with me, I laughed. I said, such these things, such characters must be checked very well before they are certified. Anyway, that's just by the way.
Yeah.
Yes. But so, what category of people, what kind of people go into this kind of attacks?
Good. Normally, thank you for this. Normally, this normally affects sectors before individuals, because the most important sector that could be affected are financial sector. They handle a lot of financial data, so your monetary entries and stuff. Imagine a bank being attacked by ransomware, and it has happened. So you have to pay that
was going to be my next question. Does this happen? Why don't we hear about it? Does it happen? How often does it happen? Why doesn't it come into the headlines?
Okay, let me answer the first one, then I'll move to the second one. Thank you. And so, I made mention of financial sector, the healthcare, the government agencies, schools. Government agencies also have sensitive data, like, let's say, military.
Yes. So you just move on to the second question.
Okay. Good. So the reason why these are not published are mostly, when you publish them, it motivates them to do more. And so we kind of, since we have forensic analysts and forensic investigators, these are crimes that we mostly don't want more people to know how it is done and how they go by it. Like the example you gave, the person knew about it. That's why he wants to learn and then use search on his or organization. And so it is on the law in our part of the world, but in U.S. and in the Western world, these attacks are reported daily in all the dailies. And so we will get there by when we can report such attacks mostly. But now in Ghana, we don't really publish such attacks, but we investigate them, and some of them are arrested and brought to book.
Joseph, so assuming a bank like Bank of Ghana encountered a ransomware attack, and the perpetrators of the attacks come in and say, Bank of Ghana, look, we have the decryption key. We are able to unlock your data for you, but you must pay us this ransom. You must pay us, let's say, $20 million US, without which we will not decrypt the data for you to have access to it. Should Bank of Ghana pay, or should the attack organization pay this ransom? If they don't pay the ransom, they are not going to have access to their data to work. All their services will be down. They can't rebuild it from scratch. What must attackees do when they encounter ransomware? Pay the ransom or not pay the ransom?
Good. I'll add up to my previous, question that some of the reason why we don't really also publish such attack is that, like the financial sector, like the Bank of Ghana that you are saying, when you publish such attacks, it brings the confidence that people have in them down. A lot of people will rush and then to go and take their money, thinking that maybe their finances has been attacked and stuff. So it can even bring a total collapse of the business. And then to your question, that should they pay the ransom? There are processes in acquiring the keys without you paying. And me being cyber security professional do not support the payment of the ransom, because when you keep paying them, it motivates them that it becomes a very juicy area for them to do more to other people. And then what are even the assurance that when you pay them, they will give you the keys and not demand another money again? And so there are other steps that will take in forensic that we can use to get the keys if it is the attack is not so sophisticated that cannot be retrieved.
So we have two scenarios: pay the ransom or not pay the ransom. You are saying per professional practice, you're not supposed to pay the ransom, right?
Yes.
Is that the standard practice?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in case you refuse to pay the ransom, then the person holds your data encrypted. You cannot access the data. Your website is down, your e-commerce platform is down, your database is down, everything is down. What do you do to ensure business continuity?
Good. There are before what every organization or individual must know. First of all, the awareness of ransomware and how dangerous they are and how they can, get onto your device or get into your organization. So awareness needs to be created in the organization to prevent that. And then you cannot prevent cyber attacks, as in 100%. So if some falls, in the network successfully, that's why it is very important that you have to have a forensic team in every organization. That these forensic teams are well trained and they know how to go by this ransomware. Because there are steps that when a forensic team takes, I believe, because I have practiced it and I've used it and it has worked for me. So I believe that you will not pay the ransom, but you will still get the keys in order for you to decrypt whatever they have encrypted. Okay,
that will be another topic for another day.
Yes.
Very well. So, interesting. So, what would be the effects of ransomware? I know we have touched little on some of them, but what would be the effects? Giving you the floor now. Talk about the effects of ransomware attack on individuals and on organizations.
Good. Thank you. Let's take this scenario. Let's say now that we have Ghana card in place, that Ghana card is replacing almost every card that we have. Imagine that, God forbid, imagine that there is a ransomware on the database of Ghana card. that all the data in Ghana card has been encrypted. And now Ghana card is the only way of accessing your finances, or is the only way of you getting entry into some secured places. It means that because of the data has been encrypted, your accessing of everything that you use that card for is not going to work again. And so if it's for the financial assessment, you cannot now access your money that you have kept in the bank. So if you are sick and you want to go to the hospital, now it means that you have no money to go. Or nowadays that when you go to the hospitals that we don't use folder around, we just use your card. And now we know that we are merging Ghana card to the health insurance and other cards. So if the card has been encrypted, it means that now doctors will no longer know your history as in how they can treat you. So these are serious effects. Ransomware is very, very dangerous. In America, for example, there is, electricity has been channeled through a database, and they experience one, and you have to shut the whole state off. You see, so ransomware is very dangerous. It's very, very, very dangerous attack that we are discussing, and we will have to
so
ourselves and then be abreast with it.
Very well. So understanding you, ransomware could result in business discontinuity. Ransomware could result in slowness of services. Ransomware could impact profits. Ransomware can give a bad image to an organization. You said earlier that if a banking institution is, for instance, in this our country where there is a lot of panic withdrawal and all that, so we hear that the bank in which I save and all my life savings are there has been attacked by ransomware, and nothing is responding. The ATM machines are shut down. Nothing is working. Definitely, the impact could be that there could be how do we call it?
Panic
withdrawal, and that could lead to the collapse of the bank, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I understand you when you explain the impact of ransomware. Now let's move on. So, how can I identify that a ransomware has occurred? A ransomware attack has occurred.
Okay. One, when you have your system and all of a sudden maybe you open an attachment within an email and then your screen goes blue and you see your files has been encrypted. Pay this ransom to this so account in Bitcoin, and then there is a limited time to it, like a day or an hours to it that you need to pay. You see it on your screen, and so when you see such, it means that you've been affected by a ransomware attack.
Simple as that. Anyway, does it happen to individuals?
Yes, mostly it happens to individuals. Mostly to people that let's say into cryptocurrency nowadays are very high as a target stamp. So and then for organizations like banks and other companies, it's through one person that could get the entire organization, the attack being successful. So maybe due to the weakness of such a person could cause the entire organization being affected by by ransomware.
One person could lead.
Yes.
One person's carelessness, one person's lack of knowledge could lead the entire organization to being attacked.
That's the best word, lack of knowledge. Sometimes they are not aware.
They are not aware. Interesting. Sometimes it's interesting how lack of knowledge could create really big problems. You have people who have full access to internet, but yet they complain that they do not have access to internet because how to go about accessing the internet is a problem. They don't know, so they will complain. Anyway, interesting. That's why
that's why this program is there.
That's why this program is there, and unfortunately, some of the people don't listen to it. We will break through, definitely.
Yes.
Okay. So, what are the best strategies or best practices in preventing ransomware attacks, either on organizations or on individuals?
Thank you so much. Like I said, this is very important to me, and I wish it to be very important to all of us. So
it is.
First, the awareness. Organizations and individuals need to pay attention to awareness creation, like what we are having. That organizations need to have cybersecurity professionals in there to create the awareness of such attack and know the effectiveness and how this attack can be affect their businesses. Two, we need to keep systems up to date. There is a reason for why softwares keep bringing updates. In security-wise, because when they find vulnerability in the old version, then they patch it and bring it as an updated version. So there's a saying that outdated softwares are easily to be hacked. And then three, we need to visit and use legitimate sites and softwares. It is not every software or any site that you have to jump on it. There should be, you need to visit legitimate sites and softwares. 4, you should check for phishing attacks. And then one will ask, how will I check for phishing attack? There's this AI that when you go there, it's checkfish.ai. Checkfish.ai. What this does is that if you have any link, you copy the link and you send it there, it will check for you. If it is a phishing attack, it will tell you. If you have any attachment
Joseph,
that you are downloading,
is that site also not a suspect?
Come again.
That site you have given, is it not also a suspect? Is it not open source and is it not a suspect? The creators are they not suspects? Do you get me?
Really getting you.
You said if one is to confirm if check if a link is a phishing link, you should go to checkfish.ai.
Yes.
And I'm saying that site, can that site be trusted? That checkfish.ai site.
Yes.
Is it trustworthy?
It can be trusted. Yes.
Okay.
100%. It has been used by most professionals all over the world.
Very well.
Yeah. Then I think 5, we must patch every security vulnerability that we find on our network or on our devices. Then 6, we need to practice this will be for industries. We need to practice zero trust and then less privileges. Zero trust, the name explains itself. That if you are acquiring for any data, whether you are the manager, you are the whatever in it, you have to go through same process in order to retrieve such data. Then there should be least privileges that based on what you do, you will not have access to all the entire database, so you are limited to what you do on that database. Then there should be data backups. Data backups mostly offline. So in case such attack penetrates successfully on the systems it means that you can do away with that, and then because you have a backup offline, you can now have a new system and then upload all this data on it and then be using it. So these are the best practices that I have used them. I've asked my clients to use them, and it has been worked for almost all of us. If I'm to add a bit to it, it means that it answers or to add up to my last submission. Yeah. That offline backups are very important. Mm-hmm. Not all your backups should be online at the same time. You get me right?
Yes. So how frequently do you think this offline backup should be taken? Hourly, daily, or weekly, or monthly? How frequently?
Yes, it depends on the kind of business that organization is in, and so that's why it's very important to consult a good cybersecurity professional who will look at what you do and then drive a best strategy for you, because businesses differ.
All right. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Come again.
Go ahead.
Okay. I said, so in for me to add more like what you are saying, we are saying, having offline backups are very, very important. And then when we are driving this best strategy, or we are practicing this best strategies, we must make sure that we include remote workers too, because remote workers also have access to our databases. You get me right? And so we must also add them to this. They have to also practice, or they have to go through the awareness. They also have to patch their systems and use legitimate websites. Organizations need to, pay attention to the devices or the connected devices that access their database. The security of this individuals working in this organization should be also a necessity for the organizations to inquire that indeed the devices and whatever practices that they are doing online are to the best security practice that will not cause the organization big time.
All right. So I ask again. So let me bring it to individual levels, so we better understand what this ransomware attack is about. So there have been complaints where people complain that their Facebook accounts have been either compromised or hijacked or taken over by unknown persons. Does this fall in the category of ransomware attack, where maybe your social media account is compromised? Somebody has discovered your credentials, and he's logged in, changed your credentials, and denied you access to the account. Does this fall in the category of ransomware attack?
No, it's, because ransomware, like the name explains itself, it encrypts something, it kidnaps something to demand something.
Very well.
So if someone takes control over your social media account, it's a cyber attack though, but it's not a ransomware attack.
Joseph.
Joseph.
How does this ransomware attack get to the device level?
Please come again.
How does the ransomware attack get to our devices?
Okay, that's what I said earlier, that through phishing attacks, that if you open email that one, phishing attacks is a huge topic on its own that we can look into it someday. But to summarize it a bit, is that the attacker will create this malicious software and they try and send it to you by email. So there are people that, as soon as they see something in their inbox, they just have to open it. And if it comes with an attachment, they don't even know the sender, and they will just download the attachment. But if the sender has this malicious software in mind, and that's how he has created it, it means that when you are downloading, at the back end of it, it is installing, and it will get your system being attacked.
Okay, so that is how the ransomware could get into so it could either get into our network through our social media handles. Sometimes somebody sends you a link and say, click this link, this organization is celebrating this birthday and they're giving free giveaways, and then you are connected to the corporate organization's network, and then you click on that link, and then boom, it compromises. Is that what you mean? Or
yes,
that you receive an email, or you try to browse Facebook or WhatsApp on your computer on the corporate network, and then you see that link, and then you click on it, and then boom, the attack happens. or an attachment or link is sent to you in an email. You see it, it sounds promising, it looks lucrative, maybe purporting to have promised you some juicy packages, and then you see it, you out of excitement you click on it and boom, the attack happens. Is that what you mean?
Yes, and then to add a bit to it, let me give a real story to this. That I visited one of the renowned media houses in Ghana, and I saw that the secretary to the boss was WhatsApping on the company device, meaning that she has synchronized her personal WhatsApp to the device. So imagine that a person sees something, and then see something and then just click on such link. It means that it's getting the entire network being affected by this.
Okay.
And so, like we are saying, awareness. I always say awareness is key in anything that we do.
Joseph, our time is fast spent, but we have a few more minutes to go. Joseph, this category of organizations, financial institutions, universities, government organizations, ministries, educational organizations, NGOs, in that order, which of these organizations are likely to come under ransomware attack?
Good. First,
you may not need to explain, just you can just answer and then.
Yeah, financial sector.
Financial sector.
Yeah.
Money be there.
Yes.
Okay.
And in outside, in the Western world, the healthcare sector is now juicier than the financial sector.
Because there's data there, and data is money. Data is the crude oil of our time.
Good. Good.
All right. Okay. Again, I ask you. Now, organized crime actors, disgruntled employees, competitors, nation-state actors, which of this category of perpetrators would most likely carry out a ransomware attack?
Sure.
Let me ask again. Organized crime actors,
yes,
nation-state actors, disgruntled employees, competitors, which of this category of actors are likely to carry out a ransomware attack on an organization?
To me, I would choose organized crime, because most of the ransomware, you don't even know where they are coming from. You don't even have any relation with them, because it's an organized crime and they want money.
How about disgruntled employees? He is an IT professional, and he is an IT professional. All the data are in his hand, and the bank he works in, he sees money coming in, he sees money going, he sees money coming, he sees money going, and you pay him a peanut. You say, but your work is just sitting by the PC. So I mean, your work is not stressful, it's just sitting by a PC, so you deserve so. But here is the case: he sees the accountant driving big cars, he sees the HR manager, and he thinks that I am managing this, I am managing that. Why don't you take care of me, or I take care of myself? Don't you think a disgruntled employee is a serious threat?
Good. We call it internal attacks. Internal attacks are also very dangerous. But the options that you gave me, I chose the organized crime over
disgruntled employees. Because for the disgruntled employees, we know them. Yeah, we enemies within, so we know that we can take care of them. But the organized crime, you never know where you're coming from.
Powerful.
Come again.
Sometimes they are very powerful because they know in and out of the organization.
I tell you. Even in the same sense, you know, there could be most of these robbery attacks that happen in the banks. Usually, when the investigation goes and it concludes, you see a trace of leakage of information from within the organization to the criminals. You get it?
Yes.
So sometimes
I get you.
We need to watch. The zero trust, like you said, zero trust. Trust no one.
Zero trust and less privileges.
Zero trust, less privileges. That is where we end today's discussion. Zero trust, less privileges. Listeners, trust no man, trust no brother, trust no sister. I remember an incident where a sister complained, "Oh, somebody, I'm telling people have stolen my money," and then what? Investigation was launched, only to find out that her sister used her ID card to withdraw money from her account. It was done further and was discovered that she gave her PIN to her sister, thinking her sister will forget.
To withdraw for her one?
No, she just mentioned her PIN one time.
Okay.
Yes, and that was all. Later, when she had money in the account, the sister picked her ID number, just the ID number in her head. She went to the roadside with her phone, withdrew money from her account, and came back home smiling.
Yes, that's what is happening to our old folks. That they go to the merchant and they mention their pins to them to withdraw for them because they can't do the process. And this guy get the pin and then later rob them.
So, in conclusion, listeners, if you haven't taken anything from this discussion, trust no man. Give not your privileges to anyone. Trust no man. Don't give your phone to somebody, so check my Momo balance for me, check my PIN for me, do this transaction for me, check my... No.